Imagine celebrating Christmas in the scorching heat of the summer. Seems strange, doesn't it? We are so accustomed to the thought of Christmas being celebrated amidst the chill of winter, often accompanied by a fresh blanket of snow. But the beauty of our diverse world is that traditions can take on different forms based where we are. Let's shift our lens to the southern hemisphere, notably to countries like Australia and South Africa. Here, the tables are turned quite dramatically. As opposed to the icy landscapes we're used to seeing during December, these places bask in the warmth of their summer season. Picture it, families gather not around a crackling fireplace, but around a beach bonfire. There's no crunch of snow underfoot, but the warm squish of sand. No snowmen, but sandcastles. Children laughing not as they slide down snow-covered hills, but as they splash in the sea. Instead of hot chocolate and roasted chestnuts, you would find chilled drinks and barbecued seafood. The of a snowy Christmas sends a shiver down our spines, evoking an image of comfort and warmth. But imagine the excitement of celebrating Christmas in a different way, with the sun shining brightly overhead, the waves crashing on the shore, and the scent of the ocean permeating the air. Now, isn't that a surprising twist on the traditional snowy Christmas image? Now, let's time travel back to the origins of this globally celebrated holiday. What we recognize today as Christmas, steeped in rich tradition and jubilant celebration, finds its roots nestled in the historical cradle of Rome. Back then, in the 3rd century, Rome was a bustling civilization, a vibrant mix of cultures, religions, and ideas. At this point, a new force was slowly beginning to make its presence felt. Christianity, a faith that would go on to shape the course of human history. Christianity, though in its infancy, was already starting to permeate the political, social, and cultural fabric of Rome. This was the era when the tradition of Christmas was, but contrary to what many might imagine, the celebration of Christmas was not an immediate outcome of the birth of Christianity. Rather, it was a well-calculated move designed with a specific purpose in mind. Essentially, the celebration of Christmas was an attempt to Christianize Saturnalia, a popular pagan festival held in honor of Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture. Saturnalia was a time of merrymaking, a festival that encapsulated the Roman spirit of indulgence and extravagance. The Roman authorities saw the power of this festival, its ability to bring people together, and they sought to redirect this collective energy towards their newly adopted faith. Thus, Christmas as we know it was carefully crafted. It was a fusion of the old and the new, a blend of pagan festivity and Christian symbolism. The celebration was initially a move to Christianize the popular pagan festival, Saturnalia, which was celebrated in honor of the Roman god, Saturn. Centuries have come and gone, and with each passing era, the celebration of Christmas has continued to evolve, drawing in various components from a multitude of cultures and traditions. These elements have served to enrich the holiday, infusing it with a sense of diversity and inclusivity that is truly remarkable. The iconic Yule log, one such borrowed element, provides an interesting example of this cultural intermingling. It is not originally a part of the Christmas tradition, but originates from the Norse tradition of Yule. This was a festive occasion observed by the ancient Norse people, much like Christmas, during the darkest period of the year, the winter solstice. They would burn a special log, the Yule log, to symbolize the return of the sun, hoping for brighter and longer days. This practice was eventually adopted into the Christmas tradition, symbolizing warmth, protection, and good luck for the year to come. As centuries rolled by, the celebration of Christmas began to incorporate various elements from other cultures and traditions. The iconic Yule log, for instance, stems from the Norse tradition of Yule, a festival celebrated during the winter solstice. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, the tradition of singing carols took root in the fabric of society. It became a cherished and anticipated part of Christmas festivities. As time went by, the custom of caroling spread across different cultures and communities, intertwining inextricably with the warm familiarity of the holiday season. Believe it or not, the origin of these melodious carols does not lie in the Yuletide spirit alone. Indeed, these carols were sung during all 4 seasons and were not exclusive to the cold winter nights. They were joyful melodies that rang out throughout the year, filling hearts with hope and homes with laughter. However, as the wheel of time turned, a change was set in motion. The Victorian era, a period known for its distinctive customs and rich traditions, witnessed a special transformation. The carols, which were once melodies of all seasons, started to become particularly associated with Christmas. The Christmas spirit imprinted on these carols, making them an integral part of the Victorian Christmas celebrations. Originally, these carols were sung during all 4 seasons, but they became particularly associated with Christmas in the Victorian era. Speaking of the Victorian era, it was during this time that Christmas began to acquire the characteristics and traditions that we associate with it today. It was an epoch marked by significant societal and cultural shifts, and one of the starkest reflections of these transformations is the evolution of the Christmas celebration. The traditions that we now partake in and hold dear can all be traced back to this fascinating period in history. Take, for instance, the tradition of Christmas trees, a symbol that has now become synonymous with the holiday. This custom, which sees families coming together to decorate an evergreen fir with ornaments and lights, originated in the Victorian era. It was during this time that people started bringing trees into their homes and adorning them, a practice that has now spread across the globe. Then there's the tradition of gift giving. While the idea of giving presents during festive occasions is not unique to Christmas or the Victorian era, it was during this time that it became a central component of the Christmas celebration. Gifts were exchanged as tokens of affection and goodwill, and the practice has carried on to this day, making Christmas a season of giving and sharing. And who can forget Santa Claus? This iconic, replete with his red suit and jovial laughter, also has his origins in this era. The Victorian Santa was a symbol of merriment and generosity, and his image has endured, making him an inseparable part of the Christmas narrative. Moreover, the Victorian era also saw the onset of the tradition of sending Christmas cards. Initially, these were physical cards sent through the post, but with the advent of technology, this tradition has now evolved into sending e-cards and social media wishes. A classic example of how a Victorian custom has adapted to the changing times. So, in essence, the Victorian era played a pivotal role in shaping the way we celebrate Christmas today. The first Christmas cards were also sent during this time, a tradition that has now evolved into sending e-cards and social media wishes. The 20th century saw the commercialization of Christmas, with businesses capitalizing on the holiday spirit. This period was characterized by a surge in marketing efforts, as companies recognized the potential profit to be made from the festive season. As a holiday originally focused on spiritual and familial gatherings started to transform, the main beneficiaries were the businesses who could monetize the public's festive feelings. Retailers in particular began to notice a significant increase in sales during this period, prompting a shift in their marketing strategies. Advertisers began to create campaigns that catered to this holiday cheer, resulting in an increase in holiday-themed advertisements. Among these, one stood out more than the others. The image of Santa Claus, as we know it today, was popularized by Coca-Cola's advertising campaign in the 1930s. This iconic depiction became synonymous with holiday cheer, solidifying the connection between the Christmas season and the world of commerce. Now, to summarize, Christmas is a celebration with a rich and varied history dating back to the Roman times. It has absorbed elements from various cultures and traditions over the centuries, from the Roman festival of Saturnalia, the Norse tradition of Yule, to the Victorian customs of Christmas trees and carols. And despite the commercialization in the 20th century, the essence of Christmas, the spirit of giving and spreading joy, remains the same. So, whether you're celebrating a white Christmas in the Northern Hemisphere or a sunny one in the Southern Hemisphere, remember the rich tapestry of traditions that have shaped this beloved holiday. And in the spirit of the season, spread joy, give generously, and make merry. After all, that's what Christmas is all about. And on that note, a Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night.